Luke's been extremely important. He's been a fresh voice for me during a fight camp. It's the first time I've ever done a fight camp with Luke. But we fought nearly 2 decades ago, or 15 years ago, whatever. And he's a brother now. He's one of my best friends. It's amazing how fighting can do that between men. So I'm very glad that Luke was here. I'm glad he took the time. He's been extremely important to me from a emotional perspective, but also just simply getting the training done and looking at things from a fresh perspective, and the fact he's so tall. So I'm really, really glad I got to go through this experience with Luke. This is something Luke and I will talk about for the rest of our lives.
I thought for a long time about making this video and whether I should do it or whether I shouldn't. But then I saw, it's been a while now since the fight, and I've seen some of the reactions and some of what people have been saying and some of the evaluations and how people look at it. And I just thought it needed some clarity, it needed some understanding from someone who was there throughout the entire process, has known Andrew forever, understands the fight game better than 99% of the world. You know, and was in the corner and was a part of the experience. And I think I can give more clarity and a better outlook from my perspective on what the fight was, what happened, how it affects things, how to react to it, how to look at it, you know, and the surprise that it was to a lot of us and a lot of people at home, and to give you some real context and some real insight. So before we actually get to the fight, obviously we'll get to the camp and we'll talk through it. We'll go all the way back so you guys understand of like how I know Andrew, how we met, how, you know, we got so close and what happened. So we actually fought a long time ago in Southend, you know, on a show called UWC, Ultimate Warrior Challenge, run by a guy named Alex Bazzoa. I was living in Essex and he was living in Luton, and we fought each other in MMA as an amateurs. Like it was my second ever amateur fight. I think it was his first or second MMA fight, amateur MMA fight. And we went through, it was a 2-round fight. We did a breakdown of it on his podcast, so you know, if you're really interested in seeing that fight, you can find it on the emergency meeting.
So look, how long is it going to take me to shoot? How long until I shoot? I'm charging forward, there it is, boom.
Yeah, I think I instantly thought, this is annoying. Can't we just punch each other in the face?
Oh, look at that feint.
It's fairly even reach-wise in this match.
Superman punch, G.
Knees from Luke.
I was strong, bro. Pushed you up.
Yeah, you were strong. You're still strong.
At the time, Andrew was a British kickboxing champion, I believe, and he went on to become a world champion and a 4-time world champion. And I want to clarify that at the beginning because a lot of people online talking about this. This was, I want to say 15 years ago. It might have been longer, but I'm going to say 15 years ago. So that's kind of how we first met. And then he won that fight. It was my first loss. I didn't lose a fight after that for, I think it was 18 fights, 5 years consecutive following that fight. He was the only guy I lost to. And it was on a decision. As my career progressed and he carried on, he became a 4-time world champion in kickboxing, and he had a fantastic career. I believe he had 87 kickboxing fights. I might be wrong there, but I think it was something around 87. And then I got to the UFC, and then when I was competing in the UFC or at the higher level, I needed training partners that were good at striking. I was fighting a guy in Manchester who was a good striker. He just beat Chris Lieben, who was a big name in the UFC at the time. It was my second fight in the UFC. I needed striking training partners, so I rang up Andrew. He came down to Cambridge and he helped me with my camp to train to fight that guy. I remember sparring with Andrew, and my leg would be completely black from low kicks. The level he was competing at and the level that he was at when he was fighting then, he was extraordinarily good. He beat the shit out of me in training, but I needed him. It was great training for me, and it pushed me to the next level. So we had a couple of camps together in that way, and we used to train at a guy named Jimmy Manower's gym down in London as well. He used to have some fantastic boxers and great fighters and a host of people. So we were in the same circles, moving around, training, came from the same background. Then I left to California. I moved to San Diego for a couple of years to pursue my UFC dream and to compete. And he moved to Romania and started the whole Tate empire that you guys all now know. If you go back to The Hateful Tates, which is one of his first ever YouTube documentaries, there's an episode where me and Andrew hang out in Romania in a place called Ploiești. I'm saying that wrong for sure. Ploiești, something like that. And it's a crappy little, shitty little city in Romania where I fought in Romania on 2 weeks' notice to make a couple of quid before Christmas. And I fought a light heavyweight, and I fought Christian Matreia, I think his name was, who was a Romanian, like, well-known guy. And Andrew and Tristan were commentating on that fight. And that's how we reconnected years down the line after my UFC career and after Andrew started doing whatever. But it started with the Hateful Tates, I'm sure it was called that. And it was a YouTube thing. And I remember saying to him all these years ago, like 10 years ago, this is a bit gay. Why you have some guy following you with a camera, videoing you when you're on nights out and doing things? He goes, oh, it's for YouTube. I was like, yeah, but it's just a bit weird. And I remember saying that to him, and we joke about it and laugh about it today because it's the beginning of his empire was someone following him around with a camera and videoing him. So funny stuff. The last 5 years, I want to say, or maybe even less than that, 3 years since Andrew really took off, the amount of fight offers that he's had come his way and he's wanted to compete in and he's wanted to do, because at heart he really is a competitive fighter and loves fighting. He's had so many offers and they just never work quite right. He was going through so much crap, so much pressure, so much stress with so many other different situations that he always laughed about it and it never quite aligned and never came up. I remember when he was on house arrest, he was basically on a full-time fight camp, training all the time, in amazing shape. And I was like, bro, you should utilize this time and have a fight. We were even trying to organize at one point, doing it in his house, setting up for streaming and him bringing someone in. We had loads of little ideas like that, but nothing come to fruition. He was offered a Mayweather fight. He was offered a million different things that just never quite worked out. And then this came along. Then Misfits happened and Mams got in touch and it kind of all worked out. And Andrew felt like it was the right time for him. As soon as he said the word fight, I appeared. Because I've always been, that's our relationship, that's how it's built. And also Chase Demoor's kind of my size, my height. So I kind of fit the bill for being a part of the training camp and for helping him prepare. I was the main training partner, if you want to call it that. And then Amir, Andrew's coach, who has been his coach since day one. But the man that Andrew is, and Tristan, because they all kind of do everything together. They want to use their coach. He's their coach. He's been their coach from the beginning. And Amir is a animal of a man and puts you through the paces and produces, tough individuals, and has been doing it for a very, 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 very long time. The thing with Andrew, and one of the major discrepancies, maybe that's the wrong word, with this fight camp and with everything, is Andrew wanted to train like he has always trained. He never wanted to make any changes, he never wanted to make any updates. And Andrew comes from the old school mentality of kickboxing 20 years ago. Last 10, best 10. Let's go. Come out, straight up, straight to your face. Long. There it is. Easy work. Thanks for that, bro. All good. So I'm here. If I do 70% of the work that you do, I'll still be in shape. Fucking hell. That's a bad workout. Yeah. Otherwise you just fucking dance. Yeah. Keep doing. Him having that mentality, backed up by his coach Amir, who also has that mentality, double down the Bosnian style, it creates the old school environment of training, which is great. And it's what he knows. So we agreed as a team to it's a big night, it's a big event, it's a big fight, he's in shape. Let's keep things the same as he understands, the same that he remembers, the same that he knows. The amount of people that have messaged me since the fight saying, oh, I could get him in better shape, I could do this, I could do that, why didn't he do that, why didn't he do this? They don't understand high level competition and dealing with high level athletes. It's a mental game, and Andrew wants to do things the way Andrew wants to do them. Now there was a thing going around talking about yes men. You're not a yes man if you try and get the best result for your athlete. That's not what a yes man is. A yes man is an insult that's trying to say that you just do as you're told. I do not do as I'm told in any part of life, and especially in this fight camp. But you can only convince the athlete to do as much as you can convince them to do, that they want to do, the changes they want to make, that they believe in, that they have trust in. If they do not have trust in them and they do not have belief in them, convincing them of those things is not worth the effort or the time to then get to fight night and then not have confidence in it. Andrew had complete confidence in his training. He said it in the press conference many times. Training's been amazing. I feel in incredible shape. It's been better than I expected. No injuries, and all of that was true. Training camp was amazing. And Andrew was in unbelievable shape. And his sparring, I was sparring with him, and I sparred with a lot of people, and Andrew hits like a truck. He hits harder than a lot of men on the planet. In the training, all the people trying to give advice post the fact who weren't involved in the camp, who don't understand Andrew's mentality, and don't understand dealing with high-end athletes, and don't understand dealing with superstars, which is what Andrew is, it doesn't work that you just walk into a camp and you say, we've got to do this, 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 and this. You know, you have to work around the athlete and what the athlete believes in. This is a man who's had 87 professional fights. He's not a guy who has no knowledge, but you can say, dictate to and say, do this, do this, do this, do this. Now, I had my word and I said, you're not as young as you used to be, we need to make some changes. And now everyone's throwing around that phrase that you see so much about overtraining. We did not overtrain. We trained perfectly, honestly. What happened, in my opinion, is you're looking at an athlete like Andrew who has a specific fighting style which is extremely reactive and a counter fighter. So you're looking at a reactive counter fighter who in training does that because he's loose and relaxed and he moves, and you try and hit him and he moves out of the way and he hits you back. All of those characteristics get worse with age. All of those characteristics get worse under pressure when you're not used to the environment. The vibe throughout training camp was fun, was enjoyable. We didn't overtrain, we didn't overpush it, we worked fucking hard, and we did some long sessions. We trained at night, we made all the adjustments necessary. Sparring was tough, we had multiple training partners, we pushed on different rounds, different person every round, 2 people around. Andrew's shape was perfect.
All right, this is my first day of fight camp. Let's see when it's supposed to be. December.
Alrighty, sir, how many times are you sparring per week right now? With, how many weeks away are we? 8?
2-3 times a week. Depends on the partners that are available, to be honest. Depends who's around. Sparring with lighter guys who move well. Sparring today with Luke, UFC veteran, who's even taller than Chase.
Oh.
So that's his only advantage over me. He's tall, but obviously we're sparring guys who are 6'7", 6'8". Just getting used to their distance.
Andrew, at the age of 39, you officially broke your record of 21 minutes and 18 seconds. And remember, Paul Douglas did 26 seconds and you wanted to kill him. But 39 minutes at the age of 39, happy birthday, brother. Love you loads. God bless you.
The reality of fight camp is Andrew's already in like top tier shape. So he's already at the end of fight camp. So he's now just got to sustain where he's at. But the problem is, he has some Bosnian psycho training him who just screams at him and shouts at him to go hard, go hard, go hard, go hard. And he knows no other way. It's like a very old school approach. Now, me, I have a much more, I want to call it a white approach, but we do something called triphasic training. So the average fight camp is 12 weeks to make it easy. You have 3 phases that last 4 weeks each. Your first phase would be a power phase, where you're trying to build strength and power and that knockout. So you're a bit sluggish, you're a bit slow, you're normally a bit fat, and you do a little bit of running to get in shape. Then you move from the first phase of power into the second phase, which is not so much speed, but like athleticism. So like a lot of jumping, a lot of movement, a lot of being able to convert power into speed. And then the last phase is a lot of mental and then a lot of speed. So imagine when I talk about weights, you start by doing heavy weighted squats that are 3 to 4 reps. Then midway through your camp, you'll take the reps to 8 to 12, and then at the end you'll do 50 jump squats, you know, to get that athletic speed. Andrew just goes hard. From day 1 to day 500, doesn't matter what it is at the camp, go hard or go home, and it's working for him.
A man who has seemingly everything wants more. The heavyweight throne, the most coveted title in Misfits boxing, is within reach of the Cobra. Andrew Tate lays it all on the line to prove his proclaimed kickboxing acumen translates to the highest level, the heaviest degree of crossover combat, but in a discipline foreign to him, a combat setting he's never tested before, a 5-year layoff from competition. This could be a risk, BJ, that leaves the top G toppled. But the only person's opinion that matters is his, as he dares to take out the Cobra.
Heavyweight boxing, guys, one punch can change everything. Nice straight left jab by Tate right out of the gate.
Links from Andrew Tate showing his experience in Muay Thai and kickboxing.
10-year age differential.
Reverting to his old ways, as you could say.
It does look like Chase Demoor is regressing skill set wise in front of us. Last time we saw him here in X Series was against Tate Marxone. Big shot from Champ. Tate eats it. Tap. Chase pushing Tate into the corner.
He's just trying to bully him.
Good round 4 for Chase Demoor.
He eats a clean uppercut and another and another.
Tate might be done. Chase Demoor clinching with the challenger. Tate's got an iron chin. You can give him that.
Great chin by Andrew Tate.
Final 10 seconds. Chase Demoor. Boom. Bringing it to the top G. Tate let alone. Taking the deep waters.
And still, the Misfits Boxing Heavyweight Champion of the World.
What we didn't account for, and what the error was, which is very hard to understand, is the mental side of a fight game. The thing that was underestimated, and the mistake with the fight camp, and the mistake that we made, is we underestimated the mental pressure and mental side, because Andrew is such an elite winner always. And he has this aura of being an elite winner. And you just don't even worry about that side of it with him. And that's the position he puts himself in. Even in fight camp, even in training, everyone looks up to him in that regard. So you think Andrew's never going to struggle mentally, never going to worry about it. But then you realize he's human, and you realize that these things happen, and you realize that it just wasn't his night or whatever. And I've been there, not just on this occasion. I remember when I was in the corner for Alexander Gustafsson fighting against John Jones. It was very similar. That fight, the second one, if you watch that fight, in my opinion, if you don't turn off the commentary, because the commentators ruin it, but the first couple of rounds in that fight, Alex is doing extremely well. Looks great. And then all of a sudden, third round or fourth round, I can't remember, he just kind of gives up. He just kind of freezes and tenses up, and the pressure gets to him. I remember in the corner, we were saying he's going to do it. He's going to smash him. He smashed him. What's going on? And then in the third round, it kind of all just fell apart. It's to do with the mental pressure of the moment. Andrew is, as a fighter, not the elite level, but he has that level of eyes watching him. He's that famous. He's one of the most famous men on the planet. So he has all the pressure of a UFC world champion, but he doesn't have the consistent training and the accolades and the experience in the ring and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I've had a lot of people message me saying that older athletes, they need to train a different way, and it comes down to rest, and it comes down to this, and it comes down to that. Again, Andrew is an old school man with an old school mentality, and you can only bend somebody so much during training camp. Yeah, that gives you, like, my opinion, of what the negatives were and why the fight went the way the fight went. We all know how it went, but if you actually watch the first round, I don't think Andrew got hit once. I think he landed multiple times to the body, definitely won the first round, definitely won the second round, and it wasn't a technical issue. He got stiff, and like I said, if you have a reactive fight game where you move your head and you counter, and under pressure that slows down and you stiffen, you don't move it, then that thing goes out the window. Then you start getting hit, then you start questioning yourself, and it just spirals out of control. And that's what I believe happened. I believed Andrew felt the pressure. He was tenser than he should be, way too tense to implement the way he fights, because the style he fights is like MVP, is like those reactive strikers. You have to be calm, you have to be relaxed, you have to be loose. Was the opposite of loose. It was like this. People that have never fought at a high level, people that have never had any fame, people that have never had any pressure, they'll never understand it. So it's just one of those things you have to live through to understand. And then in the corner, I'm going in there and I'm looking in his face, in between, maybe like from the third and the fourth round, and I'm talking to him, and he's not even listening. He's hearing what I'm saying, but it doesn't matter, because he knows he's fucking up. And he's the most critical man on the planet on himself. So the fact that he's messing it up, he knows what's happening. And I had trying all different ways to try and fucking rally him up, screaming at him, being nice to him, saying, come on, bro, whatever. And it just didn't work. He was too tired. He'd get completely gassed. And by the end of the fight, you saw what happened. And people are calling it embarrassing. It is embarrassing. It's an embarrassing result for a man of his stature and a man of his capabilities. So on that night, in that moment, in that 18 minutes or whatever it was, that was the truth. It does not mean that Andrew can't fight. It does not mean that he's a bad fighter. It does not mean any of those things. It means on that night, in that moment, it didn't go his way. And that's the difference between a lot of sports like football, tennis, whatever. They get to play every weekend. You have a bad day, you just shake it off and you go again. In fighting, you have to wait another 3 months. And you also have to deal with the physical damage that you sustain. It's a very, very different game, very different mental game than the other ones. So it's like, you have one shot. He had that one shot, he took that one shot, he went for glory and he failed. And I remember after he did the interview in the cage, in the ring, and then we walked back to the changing rooms, and I make sure no one else can get in the changing rooms. It's just me, Tristan, Amir, and Andrew. And Andrew took like a second, he sat there, and he was very quiet. I mean, we were all very quiet. It was like dead. And I said, right, we got to go do the press. You know what I mean? And Andrew's a man, especially on that event and that moment, that could do whatever the fuck he wants. He never had to do press. He never had to speak to nobody. If he wanted to, he could just go home. He was even told that on the way to the change room. Don't do what you want, bro. Whatever. No one wants to pressure him into anything. And I said, yeah, well, let's do the press. He's like, yeah, I got to go tell everyone about it. I got to go talk about it. I got to go own up to my mistakes. I got to I know how it feels in that moment. You are broken. You are there's no better word to use them. You're destroyed. You're in pieces. Your ego, your reputation, your life is just completely destroyed. And for him to just pull it all together and to understand who he is and what he needs to do and display the strength that he displayed, I think people will, even now, they don't understand how fucking hard that was and how hard it is and what it means and what character it shows. I remember walking through the arena afterwards. We come out this door and there is just fans everywhere, cheering, clapping, saying top G, the same old thing. Guys.
I'd spent a little bit of time in jail and locked in my house. I have a lot going on, but it's okay to lose, but it's not okay to not try. Let's go. You have to try. And he's younger than me, he's 20 kilo bigger than me, he's more active than me. I didn't fight a pussy, I fought the champ, so. Let's go. In life, you gotta get in there and you gotta swing and never give up. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
Honestly, I was emotional. And Andrew calmed everyone down and then gave a little speech to everybody, black eyes, beaten up, gave his speech and spoke. This is before the press conference. He's on the way to the press conference. And he took it incredibly well. Then he went to the press conference, and Tam Khan was with us as well. And Tam was like, we're just going to make a statement and we're going to leave. Let's get out of here. You know, we don't need this. And I was like, yeah, cool. As long as he makes a statement and he says his piece, let's do that. Andrew goes to the press conference, he sits with Mams, and he gives his statement.
Yeah, obviously I didn't get the result I wanted, but truthfully the result I wanted was to see if I could still do it. 40 years old, 10 years retired, a little bit of time in a Romanian dungeon. It was always going to be a big ask against someone so much bigger than me, younger than me, more active than me, but I wanted a real challenge. I didn't want to fight a tin can, I didn't want to fight someone older than me or smaller than me. You know, I felt like I won the first 2 rounds, but then because he's 20 kilo heavier, he started leaning on me and sapped some energy. But I didn't quit, never give up, never retreat, never surrender, fight to the end, go out on your shield.
And the way he took that on and did that, again, shows the character of the man. Fighters will understand. It's like the most humiliating thing you could imagine. And he did it willingly, on purpose, to show the person that he is and the character that he's got. And I don't know if I would have the strength to do that, to be honest. After the Khalidov fight, luckily I didn't have any press. And I was with my wife at the time, and we just sat in a taxi, and I was just a miserable cunt. And I was just, you know, whatever. But it was heartbreaking. And this was heartbreaking. But the way he took it on the chin and moved forward and kept going, and I'll never forget it. It's a huge lesson for everyone out there watching and watched it and experienced it. If you're a fan of Andrew, that's why you're a fan of him. You're not a fan of him because he can win a boxing match. You're a fan of him because of the character and the person that he is and the life lessons that he bestows and he shares and he talks to you about. And anyone who thinks he can't fight, I'm sure he'll welcome you to the gym to have a little sparring session, and you'd be amazed at the level that he can compete at. I think I tweeted this. I can't remember the exact tweet that I said, but it was like, anyone taking joy in another man's failure is not a man. That negativity, that hatred in your heart is just going to weigh you down and destroy you. And it's just not necessary. But I get it. I get plenty of people have got reasons to be upset at Andrew. Plenty of people have got reasons to hate him. Let them hate. And like I said, you cash a big check and move on to the next one and just keep moving forward. Will he try and avenge this? I don't know. I mean, should he? The fighter in me will say yes. The fighter in me will say yeah. Because as long as it's quickly, if he waits a year, don't do it. But if it's quickly and he gets back in there and he goes through it again and he gets a win, my advice, which I've given Andrew already, is if he wants to continue competing, he wants to do it a couple more times before he's 40, then, you know, don't fight a man who walks around at 110 kilos. Let's fight a man that's your size, your weight, your whatever, and build yourself back up. That would be the smart thing to do. The smart thing to do would have been to fight, have an easy fight, to get back in the flow of competition. Because that's what this was. This was an era of underestimating the mental fortitude or the mental stress that combat has on you. The walk to the ring and the fight. If he'll do it again, I have no idea. Got bigger fish to fry, billion-dollar deals to make, the strength of his plan, and the like those 3 months I had in Dubai with him every single day, the rooms that I sat in with, the people that I sat with, you would have no idea. You guys at home like hating or talking, you got no idea that the people that Andrew's involved with, who he's talking to, and the reach that this guy has, and the things that he could do with his time that is not boxing. So this is when people get confused about, like, why did he do it in the first place? He did it in the first place because he wants to do it. You know, from this experience, these 3 months, like I said, I spent every single day together. Me and Andrew have always been like mates, and we've always been, you know, like value exchange and close, but I definitely feel this experience brought me and him closer together, especially it being a loss. I know he appreciated me there. I know that I helped a lot on a lot of different levels, and we're a lot closer now than we've ever been. And that's what combat sports does for people. That's what brotherhood does for people. Like, especially if you're there to help through hard times. You know, I think the relationship me and him have is better than ever. And it's something that will only build from here in this year. You know, I feel like there's a lot of avenues in which we can help each other and do things. And if it's not just in fighting, if he wants to fight, then great. But I feel like when you go through these sort of experiences with people, with your team, again, like old school guys I've got like Jack Mason and John Maguire and Tommy and Robbie and all the guys back from Tsunami Gym, and even at San Diego, Phil Davis and the guys, I'll be forever thankful to them and forever close to them. No matter what happens in my life, they're people that I know I can rely on. I know I can rely on because I've physically been with them, had to rely on them through combat and through hard times and through the worst days. And I feel like that's what me and Andrew have as well. We have that sort of tight brotherhood. And for 2026, we'll see what it brings. We'll see what it brings in the fighting world. If I want to step in the ring or not, I think if I'm a part of a camp with Andrew, it only makes sense. There's guys like Marcel and Rory that are competing now, and the whole team are enjoying the labors of combat. And I feel like it's something everyone should do, something all young men should do. So, I mean, there you have it. That's like the bare bones and the understanding for a perspective from me, who was involved in every single day of the fight camp, was there in the corner for Andrew, who witnessed it, who saw him before the fight, who saw him after the fight, who understands fighting so deeply. That's how I feel it went. You can comment below, you can tell me what you think about it, and if you agree or disagree or even understand, because I honestly think most people won't even understand the pressure that comes with this sort of thing. But the lesson we take away from this, for all of us, for 2026, is if there's something in life that you want to do, a challenge that you want to overcome, that you want to face, that you want to build, that you want to try, it doesn't matter the outcome, just do it. Winning or losing, it does not matter. Everyone's so outcome focused. Everyone's thinking about the thing, the outcome, rather than the journey. And these 3 months, 4 months for Andrew, they were hell. But he developed so much through it. I developed so much through it. Our relationship got closer. He built through it. And you will build through doing whatever it is that you're afraid of doing. Doing whatever is your question. Oh, should I not? Should I leave home? Should I move to a different city? Should I work for myself? Should I become an entrepreneur? Just do it. You can always go back to doing what you wanted to do before. And just to end, I just want to say one last thing. I'm not making this video to defend Andrew. This video isn't about me. This video isn't about, I'm not trying to skew your vision on it. I'm trying to give you something to take away from it. Don't look at the result. Don't worry about the win or the loss. Look at it like the character that's built through it. What can you take from this experience? How can you change your life? Using Andrew as an example. If you look up to Andrew, how does that impact you, this experience? Who cares what he's doing? What are you doing? Think about yourself. And that's why I'm making this video. I'm making this video to explain to you my perception, my perspective, so you can see my perspective, and hopefully that inspires you to do something this year that will change your life.